Us Gamers podcast.
Multiwinia. Tim, tell us what it is.
Multiwinia is a real-time strategy game, but it's extremely simple.
Probably the most simple real-time strategy game I've ever played.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot to it other than the amount of fun you can have. I've seen a number of people, though, try to play this, and they haven't had as much fun. I kind of see where they come from, and I kind of don't. Some people don't like the simplistic nature of it. Like, Ben, wouldn't you say the user interface is one of the highlights in its simplicity?
Yes, but some people like complicated user interfaces.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of games have, like, you can give your guys very specific instructions and people like that. But this game, everything is very general. You tell your guys to go to this general area, and they kind of take over and do stuff for you, at least on the detail parts.
Yeah.
But I like that about the game. It allows you to focus more on the overall strategy than the individual details.
To start it off, I should say that the basic unit you control are these little flat figures called Darwinians, or in this case, I think Multiwinians.
The story is, they came from Darwinia and they split off into separate tribes, and now they fight and they're called Multiwinians.
That is the story?
Well, from what I've read online.
Interesting. Well, there are two games. There's Darwinia and Multiwinia. You can pick up both of those for $15 on Steam. Multiwinia alone is $10, and honestly, after you play Multiwinia, it's really hard to go back to Darwinia, because Darwinia, while it does have a story and it was highly rated as being a very good game, it's complicated. It's much more complicated than Multiwinia is. And if you like that, Darwinia is a more standard RTS. It's got your builder units and stuff. This doesn't have that. This is where you go and you capture buildings that are already on the map that spawn units every so many seconds. You don't really bother building too many buildings or anything like that.
Well, there's 6 different game modes.
Yes.
There is Domination mode, where you have to take control of the whole map. The King of the Hill mode, where you get points for standing in certain areas around the map. The more places on the map you have, goes up 1 point for each. And usually you go until the timer runs out.
Or you can have it like set to a custom method of scoring. It doesn't necessarily have to be.
Yeah. Then there's Capture the Statue, where you have to take a statue from the map and bring it back to your base.
Which so far is the game mode I'm the best at. Ben always wins at King of the Hill. I don't know why.
I still haven't figured that out. Then there's Rocket Riot, where you have to get your Multiwinians to control solar panels that fuel a rocket, and then get 100 Multiwinians into the rocket to allow it to take off before your opponent builds his rocket.
Yeah, and some of the footage we have, it's of either Ben and I playing, or Ben and the computer playing, I guess.
There's Assault, where one of the team defends a bomb, and the other team tries to defuse it. If the bomb doesn't get defused, then that team wins.
Oh, that's the Assault.
We played that once.
Oh, yeah. That was fun. We should do that again.
I thought it was fun because it just, at the beginning of the match, you get a ton of units, and it's just, you get right into it.
Yeah, they just throw units at you in ridiculous proportions.
Then there's Blitzkrieg, where basically kind of like a strange RTS Capture the Flag.
Okay, let's move on to graphics.
I like the graphics in the game. They're very simple, and the whole game is only 64 megabytes.
The actual entire game is only 64. If you download a demo, which you really have no reason for not doing, since even on a slower connection, it'll take seconds, maybe a couple minutes to download, being at only 64 meg.
Yeah.
You can play multiplayer with the demo even. The game is pretty much, there's no real story mode. It's pretty much a stripped down RTS. And,
like Unreal Tournament.
Yeah, it's pretty much a stripped down RTS in every sense of the word. But it's just launched, yeah, art style.
But it's fun.
It's a massive amount of fun.
That's pretty much what the game has going for it.
It's fun.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we used to look for in games. If you got a game that has really good graphics and a really good story and other elements, it'll make up for it not being fun. But this one doesn't even have a story, but we still played it for hours and hours simply because it's fun.
As simple as everything is, I mean, for the most part, your Multiwinians are 2D. Everything else is 3D, but it's very retro, and it's very like the whole thing does take place inside a computer. And like the story was that this whole thing is like artificial intelligence that evolved inside a computer.
But even with the low polygon count and everything in the game, it's still visually appealing. with all the
Very.
colors and the particle effects and things. The game is set in a digital world, so everything's got this weird digitally look to it, which is nice.
Oh yeah, definitely. Also, we can't forget about crates.
Crates drop from the sky, and they've got power-ups inside them. There's turrets. There's little squads of guys you can get. Every once in a while, there'll be a virus outbreak where instead of having something good, the crate will break open and a bunch of your guys will get infected and turn black, and then you have to fight them off.
They actually turn into a race of their own.
Yeah.
I was very impressed at what they did with the viruses. If one of you opens a crate that has a virus in it, it has the potential to actually demolish an entire team.
Yeah.
And then, instead of dealing with a team, you have to deal with the virus instead of a team.
You can get little guys that will go around and collect
Souls.
the souls, the energy from the fallen Multiwinians, and bring them back to your base and use them to spawn new guys.
Yeah, and like, you're thinking like computer programs, the souls. It was kind of weird.
So, Tim, what would you give this game out of 10?
8.75 to 9. But I think I would give it a 9.5 because of its price. And its price per fun ratio is very good.
It is. I'd probably have to give the game an 8.5 because I do like me a good RTS, but I'm not a huge RTS guy. But still, this game is very... The simplicity of it makes it accessible. First game I played, I jumped in and beat Tim by quite a bit.
Oh my gosh, 3 rounds in a row. Demolished me.
Until we discovered Capture the Statue.
Well, yeah. Which for some reason I don't understand why Ben is... And there's no tech trees in this game either. There's no like waiting and build a tech tree and stuff like that. It's just, you get into it. You pretty much have one unit. The gun turrets, you can take first-person control of them, so you can actually show like a rocket or a flamer turret where to shoot at. It does everything so well and so simply.
For 64 megabytes, you have no reason not to go at least try the demo.